I'm the Vice President of Heritage Arsenal here in Colorado Springs, and we've got a German uniform to discuss today that I want to bring to your attention. We thought had some human interest associated with it. This is a model 1936 issued enlisted man's uniform. What's interesting about this is we actually have the capture paperwork associated with this. So this came out of a local officers' footlocker group. This officer served with the 224th Field Artillery Group, which was attached to the famous 29th Division that came ashore in Omaha Beach. Now, this officer in particular didn't come ashore at Normandy, but he joined the division late, so he was actually a veteran of the Rhineland and Central Europe campaigns. But what's interesting about this, 17 May 1945, you're talking about 9 days after the surrender of Germany. This is coming out as captured booty or souvenirs being brought home with pride by this officer to show his family. And until just a few weeks ago, it was locked in a footlocker as it had been for 75 years. The officer in question, we have a photograph of him at his retirement in 1961 here at Fort Carson, Colorado, right here in town. So I also want to bring up an interesting point as I was going through this uniform when we were looking at several of the things that were in the footlocker. Here at the waist pocket, pulled out a streetcar ticket, wartime, from Munster, Germany. So my point in bringing this up, or picking this as a subject, was not because this was a high-ranking officer, a particularly highly decorated German soldier. This was the kind of typical soiled, worn, combat-used uniform that a German soldier would have been wearing by the thousands and millions at the fall of the Reich, and he's literally trying to come home, and here's his train ticket. So let me talk a little bit about the tunic. So you see the bottle green collar up here, the Litzen in bevo, the 5-button closure with the correct pebbled buttons. You also see evidence of the internal suspension system. There were hooks that would come here and you could put your personal equipment at the waist and it would distribute the weight correctly. But very interesting here is some telltale wear and a couple of punctures in the wool. And what that indicates is that he had received the wound badge, probably in black for 1 or 2 wounds. He would have received that in black, and you can see how perfectly that matches up with the pin behind that badge. So this is the German equivalent of the Purple Heart. You do not see the shoulder boards up at top. Those were missing straight out of the footlocker, as well as the Wehrmacht Adler. And you can see where that eagle for the German army was removed, but you can see where the soiling shows exactly where its placement was. What would have been up here is also bottle green shoulder straps that would have buttoned in here, that would have indicated not only a regiment and rank, but would have indicated the branch of service that this particular soldier was serving. And these in particular, I'm just showing these as an example, is for the signal or propaganda element. Moving on to the pants, and how do you get excited about a pair of pants, right? But you see the soiling, the holes, the straight leg, the slash pockets, and in this slash pocket in particular, how about the match heads and the cigarette tobacco still resident down inside of this pocket? I mean, when you look at the buttons, why in the world do you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different types of buttons? This is a uniform worn by a combat soldier under duress, in difficult conditions, field environment. This is exactly what you should expect. You should expect the pipe tobacco. You should expect the soiling and the holes and the wear at all the high relief on this entire tunic. You can see where the even soiling and wear, and in fact even indicated here on the lower button. This is where the equipment would have come across this pebbled button. You see the stress that's been put on that buttonhole, this is exactly what you want to see. If you're looking for a historic uniform that's correct, that's absolutely right off the body of a soldier and taken home within 9 days of the fall of Germany with a train ticket in its pocket. So anyway, I just wanted to bring this to light. Very seldom do you see something like this just straight out of the woodwork, essentially a barn find like this in the black. And so we wanted to bring this to you this week as a point of interest, and we hope you enjoyed it.